Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Zunair and you are watching my YouTube channel. Before coming to the topic, let's have a quick discussion about the sponsor of this video. This video is sponsored by Chiram. At Chiram, they are dedicated to bring genuine leather products crafted with experienced craftsmanship at minimal affordable price. So in case you want to buy high quality leather products, Chiram should be your go-to store. Thank you. In this video, I will be talking about one of the most significant period in history of medieval Europe. The period I am talking about is the rise and fall of Muslim rule in Spain. It all started in the early 8th century and it lasted till the end of 15th century. In this video, I will break down almost 8th century long Muslim rule in Spain into 4 main phases. In first phase, we will be looking at the rule of Umayyad rulers. In the second phase, we will be talking about Emirate and Caliphate of Cordoba. In the third phase, we will have discussion about Almoravids and the Almohads. And finally, in the last phase, we will analyze the rulership and the rule of Emirate of Granada. Before digging deep, I would like to make one thing very clear. Of all the Muslim conquests in the late 7th and early 8th century, the conquest of the Iberian Peninsula and the establishment of Muslim Spain, also known as the Al-Andalus, is one of the most imperative examples of how religiously tolerant Islamic rulers and their efficient administrative designs transformed this whole region into the focal point of the medieval Europe. And I believe it is one of the most overlooked aspects when it comes to the history of Al-Andalus. For understanding how it all started, we need to go back to the early 8th century. In the early years of the 8th century, the Iberian Peninsula was mainly ruled by Visigoths. However, the issue was the Visigoths were fighting among themselves. Why? Because of the power struggle. Riddled with internal strife and power struggle, the fall of the Visigothic kingdom appeared to be inevitable. Contrarily, Muslims were on the rise. Having already conquered Arabian Peninsula, Asia Minor, Persia, and Northern Africa, the last step in the total expansion of the Umayyad dynasty was the conquest of the European lands, especially the southwestern European land because of their proximity with North Africa. So the scene was set for the further expansion of the Islamic rule in the region. Consequently, the opportunity arose in the late 710 CE when one of the Visigothic factions, Witizens, asked Umayyad governor Musa ibn Nusair to invade their lands. As expected, Musa ibn Nusair obliged and sent an army of 7,000 men led by Tariq ibn Ziyad. As soon as Tariq ibn Ziyad reached the Iberian territory, it became clear that there would be resistance, but it would not last for too long. On the other hand, the Christian Visigothic king Roderick was busy fighting with other Visigothic factions. On hearing the news of the arrival of the forces of Tariq ibn Ziyad, he came back, and then finally the forces of the two met in the decisive battle of the Guadalete. Although it lasted for almost a month, but finally the forces of Tariq ibn Ziyad defeated Visigoths and started marching towards central and northern territories of the Iberian Peninsula. Later, Tariq ibn Ziyad further expanded its rule and conquered the capital city of the Visigothic kingdom. Moreover, the governor of the northern Africa, Musa ibn Nusair, also joined him, and in a time period of only 3 years, both conquered almost all the territory of the Iberian Peninsula. As the land was previously inhabited by Christians and Jews, Muslim conquest brought a new civilization, a new set of socio-cultural elements, and most importantly, one of the most efficient administrative designs the region has ever experienced. And I believe it is one of the most overlooked aspects of Muslim rule in Spain that Muslim rulers provided non-Muslims, Christians and Jews equal chances to prosper, thus enabling an environment of religious tolerance and establishing a society which was inclusive as well as plural. As a result, a number of Jews and Christians converted to Islam. However, there was one major issue. In the northern territories, in the extreme northern territories, Christian Visigoths were still in control, and these Christian territories later proved to be growing ground for the reconquest of the lost land, also known as Spanish Reconquista. Here, I want you guys to take a pause because now we have just entered from the first phase of Muslim rule in Spain to the second phase. And as I mentioned earlier, the second phase was about the Emirate and Caliphate of Cordoba. How it all started? Well, in 750 CE, another set of Muslims came into power. They were known as the Abbasids, who were descendants of Prophet ﷺ uncle. And as soon as they came into power, the areas under the Umayyad rule also came under the rule of the Abbasids. Nonetheless, there was one exception, Al-Andalus. Al-Andalus remained under the control of the Umayyad rulers. How come? In 756 CE, an Umayyad ruler with the name of Abdurrahman I defeated the local governor and established its rule, its control in the region. Abbasids, on the other hand, tried but failed to expand their rule to the Iberian Peninsula. Here, I would like to mention one major difference between the Umayyad rule of the Muslim Spain and the independent rule of the Muslim Spain. And that key difference should be seen in the context of the leadership. First led by Abdurrahman I and years later led by Abdurrahman III. What both these leaders did was they transformed this particular region and made it the focal point of the medieval Europe. Interestingly, Abdurrahman III also brought a very significant, a very fundamental change. He proclaimed himself to be the caliph with the title of Al-Nasir and established another caliphate in the Muslim world with the name of Caliphate of Cordoba. The major stimulus behind creation of another caliphate was the decentralization of power in the Muslim world. At that time, Fatimids had already established their rule in the northern Africa. Thus, at this particular moment in time, there existed three different Muslim caliphates: Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad, Fatimid Caliphate in the northern Africa, and Caliphate of Cordoba in the Muslim Spain or Al-Andalus. And to be very honest with you guys, I believe that this decentralization of power and the creation of three different caliphates at the same time proved to be one of the major reasons for the eventual decline of the Muslim rule in the world. Coming back to Abdurrahman III, well, through his diplomacy and armed conflicts, he not only brought northern territories under check, but also sustained his rule against the threat of the Fatimids in the south. He governed Muslim Spain for almost 50 years and transformed the whole socio-political fabric of the Muslim Spain in a remarkable and praiseworthy manner. In terms of socio-cultural, political, diplomatic, and administrative designs, I believe Muslim Spain achieved peak of its supremacy during the 49-year reign of Abdurrahman III. Unfortunately, he died in 961 CE, and with his death, the eventual fall of the Caliphate of Cordoba had started. Unfortunately, he died in 961 CE, and his death proved to be the beginning of the eventual fall of the Caliphate of Cordoba. The power struggle between different Muslim factions resulted in a number of internecine wars and eventually caused the fragmentation of the Caliphate of Cordoba into a number of independent principalities or taifas. Such a disintegration not only weakened Muslim stronghold over the Muslim Spain, but it also gave the Christian rulers of the north an opportunity to reconquer what had been lost almost 3 centuries ago. Hence, the Caliphate of Cordoba ended in 1031 CE, and with his the Caliphate of Cordoba ended in 1031 CE, and with its fall, the Spanish Reconquista, which is the reconquest of the lost land, entered into the next phase. That's all from this video. In this video, I have only talked about the first 220 years of Muslim rule in Spain. In the next video, I will be talking about the rule of Almoravids, the rule of Almohads, and I will also be talking about the Emirate of Granada and the eventual fall or decline of Muslim rule in Spain. Hopefully, you will like this video and will find it valuable. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. I almost forgot to mention, I have been putting a lot of effort in making these videos, so I will be grateful if you can like, comment and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.